Greetings, good people. It's your girl T, your chief controller of all of the narratives. And today we're talking about what happens when a man with a massive platform downright refuses to control the one thing he actually has power over of himself. He has power over himself, but he refuses to use it. So check this out. The National Association of Black Journalists, NABJ, you may have heard of the name before, but I want you to understand what it means. The National Association of Black Journalists just gave sports commentator Stephen A. Smith a thumbs down award. Okay. A whole thumbs down on stage in front of everybody. That's kind of a big deal. Kind of. Now, not because they woke up feeling petty, and I do that sometimes, so I get it, but because they documented a pattern, a recorded observation, a public pattern of disparaging commentary directed at prominent Black women across politics, across sports, and across media. Okay? His response, well, he did what he always does. He attacked them on Twitter in caps, threatening a rebuttal that would expose who really deserves a thumbs down award. That's from him. So he's letting you know, I'm coming for you. That seems to be his theme lately, and he doesn't understand. Let me be clear what just happened. A Black journalists organization from his own community said, we see a problem, we're calling it out. And instead of pausing to listen to his own people, he declared war on them and the organization. And I don't understand how he does not see that as a problem. But okay, that's not controlling the narrative, though. That's being controlled by your ego. It's a pattern, just like they said, and he does not seem to see it. So here's the thing. I'm about to show you why his strategy is broken and why it costs him. Just follow me for a second. I ain't gonna hold you too long, but I want you to follow me. Now, before we go any deeper, let me set the stage for those who don't follow sports media like it's a religion, like some of us, okay? Stephen A. Smith is one of the biggest voices in sports commentary. He is. There's no denying that. ESPN's First Take, it's a massive platform, massive influence. Black men, Black voices, supposed to be speaking for the community, right? That's the narrative he built. Because if you look back on his career, it looks a lot different than right now. But people forget what you build your career on should sustain you. It's almost like a relationship. When you get into a relationship with someone and you do the things, right? And then you guys get married and you start doing something different and you wonder why your relationship fell apart. The same thing you do to get them, you got to do to keep them. Anyways, that's the narrative. NABJ, the National Association of Black Journalists, is the professional organization for Black journalists and media professionals across the country. Let me be clear, I am also a member. I didn't go to the event this year, but I am a member of this organization, and I love it. They existed before social media, and I think people forget there was life before social media. And the way that we did things, some of those things are still tradition. Before hot takes became currency, there was NABJ, okay? They're about standards. They always have been. They're about accountability. They're about representation. They are. So when these two worlds collided, I paid attention because this is an absolute power control right now. That's what's going on. And what happens when someone with all the resources chooses reaction over reflection, it's a problem. Here's the documented fact. NABJ cited a pattern. They said Smith has established a reoccurring public pattern of disparaging commentary, okay? That might be subjective, but listen, he has a pattern of disparaging commentary directed at prominent Black women across politics, sports, and media. Such commentary reinforces harmful negatives and it undermines the faith and respectful representation of Black communities and standards in direct conflict with NABJ's longstanding commitment to accurate, responsible, and inclusive portrayals of Black communities. It wasn't just a flop, it wasn't something that wasn't thoughtful. Okay? He established a pattern. In a room full of journalists, they pointed out the pattern. That's specific, that's cited, it's not general. And that's feedback. It is feedback. Kevin Hart, a comedian, already roasted him on stage. So NABJ is not new to this. Okay? He said Kevin Hart saying he hates he I want you to look up Kevin Hart's comments, but Stephen A said that it stung when Kevin Hart said it. I don't know. Personally, I think it's because Kevin Hart is specifically who he is in the culture. So that might have hurt his little feelings a little bit. He claimed he spent his life fighting for his community. He said the statement hurt him because he knows it's false. So when multiple people say the same thing, everybody's lying. I don't understand. But here's where it gets interesting. Okay, follow me. He has a moment to look at the pattern. He has time to do this. He had a moment to ask himself some hard questions about his commentary towards Black women specifically, not women in general, Black women. That's what we're talking about. Let's be precise about that. It wasn't a general statement, it was very specific with measurable opportunities for him to have either reversed his stance or watched what he said. And he chose not to even reflect, okay? Instead, what he did, he got on social media, he posted a warning. He said, NABJ wanted to call folks out. Fine. I'm only mocking him because we all know how he talks, right? And then he said, okay, well, you had your turn. Now mine is coming. So you know he's brewing, right? He's brewing because he wants to start talking mess. Let's see who really deserves a thumbs down award when it comes to the Black community. So here we go again with the threats. Do you see what happened there? Instead of addressing the feedback, he pivoted to attacking the messenger. He's saying, you think you can judge me? Wait until you see what I have to say about you. Listen, that's not a response. That's a threat. That's desperation dressed up as confidence. And something is going on. Instead of showing confidence, that's always what he leans into, a threat. He does it to Black women, he does it to Black athletes, but you see, he didn't do it to Serena's husband, right? And others that are in power that don't look like us. I call this the thermometer test. When someone holds up a mirror to you and you don't like what you see, you have two options. You can get mad at the mirror, or you can look at what the mirror is showing you. Let me say that again. When someone holds up a mirror and you don't like what you see, you have two options. You can get mad at what you're seeing, or you can look at the mirror and see what it's showing you and make some changes, or not. Stephen A. Smith got mad at the mirror. What this says about him is very clear. And let me be specific about this move and what it says about communications, right? And communications from a communications strategist perspective. Okay, this is what I do. So this is my perspective. This isn't a streamer that just does hot takes. This is from a PR, from a communications perspective. One, he doesn't have a crisis communications plan. And let me say what drives me nuts is when people get rich. When people get rich and they get powerful, they stop using PR people. They stop using comms people because they feel like they are their best PR. The person that's in the White House right now is a prime example. But there are other CEOs and companies that have felt like They can just say what they want and do what they want. And because they are who they are, nothing will happen. Okay. That is also a pattern. A man this powerful should have advisors, smart people, people who can sit with him and say, hey, Sass, this is feedback from your community. Let's think about this strategy before we respond, because everything doesn't need a knee jerk reaction, right? That's just not how it works. Everything doesn't need emotional, unfiltered, knee jerk kickbacks all the time. That's not strategy, that's instinct. And his instinct is to attack. And that has become a pattern. Two, he's confusing influence with control. He has massive, massive influence. He has a massive platform, millions of followers, tons of reach, but he doesn't actually control the narrative because he doesn't control himself. He does not. NABJ controlled this narrative. They made the statement, they set the terms, they cited the pattern. He's been chasing their tail ever since, trying to discredit them. Now he's going to come out and blast them. So I'm sure he's going to make a list of things he thinks is wrong with them. Never once taken an opportunity to look at himself, trying to discredit them instead of addressing the substance of what they said. He refuses to do that. Three, he's missing the entire point of being in the community he claims to represent. NABJ is the Black organization, it's the Black journalism community. It's his people. When your own people give you feedback, that's not an attack, that's accountability. It's love, actually, even when it's hard to hear. But he's treating them like the enemy. I don't understand that. And that tells you something about how he sees power, not as something shared in community, but as something that he wields against anybody who questions him, right? It might make you think of someone else out there right now that is absolutely having the lowest ratings of anyone in his position. Here's what actually happened narratively, okay? Because I'm all about the narrative. NABJ said, we've documented a pattern. We're concerned about the impact. Stephen A said, I'm going to attack you. How dare you? How dare you come against me? How dare you say anything that's not pro me? I'm going to attack you. And now the conversation isn't about his commentary towards Black women anymore. It's about him versus NABJ. It's about him being wronged. It's about whether he deserves this award or not. Okay? He shifted the conversation away from his behavior and onto his grievance. Narratively, that's a smart move. Strategically, it's complete failure because he just proved their point. What is wrong with you? Because here's what we all saw. A man with a massive platform choose to attack a professional organization instead of pause and reflect. We watched him in real time choose ego over accountability. He chose offense over listening. And for anybody watching from the Black women's community, he's been criticized for disparaging anybody that's watching this. They just got a masterclass in how he handles feedback from women in his own community. He don't listen to them. He fights. He don't listen to them. It's a no. It's a no for me. I'm just going to fight you. I'm going to battle you. But that's your community? I don't. It's just a missed opportunity, honestly. But I want to talk about what could have happened here because this is a teaching moment, I believe. Imagine if Stephen A posted something different. Something like, I've seen the feedback from NABJ about my commentary towards Black women. It's landed hard because it came from people I respect. I'm taking time to really examine my work, my words, and my impact. My goal has always been to uplift my community. If I've missed the mark, I need to know it and I need to fix it. Stay tuned. What if that was his commentary? What if something like that came out of his mouth or off his Twitter? That's not groveling. That's not weakness. That's a man secure enough to listen, secure enough to grow, secure enough to lead by example and show people that accountability is a strength, not a liability. Are you following me? Instead, he chose the scorched earth approach, which is on brand for him. He chose a burn the bridge to the organization that's supposed to be his professional home. And for what? I think that's my question. Like, and for what? What is all of this about? I don't know. I don't get it. And if you can't handle accountability from your own community, what message does that send about how you see power, about how you see women, about how you see the people who question you? It sends a message and everybody's reading it. Everybody is reading it. So, look, as you move through the week, ask yourself, what narrative am I controlling right now? And what narrative is controlling me? Because the difference between the two is huge. I'm going to ask you again, and I want you to ask yourself, what narrative am I controlling? And then what narrative is controlling you? And know the difference. And Stephen A. Smith is giving us all a live tutorial in the wrong answer. He just is. Look, I, like many people, I have over the years enjoyed his commentary, and now his voice gives me a headache just because there's so much negativity and vile commentary that comes out of it. I'm your girl T, and I'm just saying control your thermometer, control your response, control the urge to attack the mirror. Make sure you hit that YouTube subscribe button, okay? Because I want you to come back. I usually just go live when there's things that are off the dome, things that are on my mind that I want to share with you. Because as a public relations professional, a communication strategist, sometimes things I just want to talk to you about some stuff. I don't have time to plan it or bring in a guest, and I probably will. But hit the YouTube subscribe button and make sure that you hit I think the alarm too that goes off when I go live. Drop a comment below. Tell me your thoughts and head over to Substack for a deeper dive on all things narrative, strategy, and communications. I'm Tonya, the Chief Controller. Control the mic, control the room, and always control the narrative, because if you don't control the narrative, the streets will, and it will not be in your favor. All right, hit the comments. Let me know.